Hello everybody, I'm Francisco Lee and I'm here today with Zaira, my trusted lawyer. We're going to talk about today the process of buying a property here in Los Cabos. The first thing that you have to do, you have to engage with your local realtor to identify the property that you want to buy. After you've done that, I think that the best thing that you have to do is to engage with a local lawyer that is going to help you with the entire process of closing and is going to give you all the tips to make it a very stress-free process. We're going to put in an offer, and I always give this offer to our lawyer that can review it, and then this offer is going to be presented to the developer or the owner of the property. At this point that the offer is accepted, we have to put in the money into escrow. And here it comes some kind of mechanics that we have to talk about. Right, Zaira?
Right. There's a couple of differences, as you mentioned, on buying a property that it's already built and on inventory versus one that it's on pre-construction. So one of the main differences that we find in this is how the funds are released in one transaction versus the other. Escrow, it's a great tool in order to protect the money from the buyers, to ensure and show capacity to the seller or the developer, and for the developer to be incentivized to comply with the obligations that they have through the whole transaction. During a sale of a property that it's already built in an inventory, all the money is released up until the very end. What is different when it comes to pre-construction is that often the developer gets funds for the construction through you. One of the elements that Francesco has talked about previously is that properties in pre-construction have better prices. That is one of the reasons why the developers request to have partial disbursement at different stages of the construction.
Yes.
Normally you release what on?
Yeah, like a 35% as a down payment is usually what is requested by a developer, and then they're going to require some payments at each and every stage of the construction progress. And usually here in the Baja, we use an escrow from all of these payments. You need to do a disbursement directly to the account of the developer. But this money is not going to last until you're going to get the property in your hand. While if you're looking to buy a property that is completed, you're going to release those money at the end of the closing process.
Yes. I think often by the end, you can leave a certain percentage at the end of the transaction before the title that it's released at the moment of the signatures. But that is probably the only money that is going to remain in escrow.
Yes, each and every developer has these kind of rules about it, yeah.
Yeah. So other than that peculiarity, there is a process that it's where our involvement as lawyers comes, and it's very suggested, strongly suggested, and it's in order to carry out the due diligence. A due diligence needs to be carried out regardless of the transaction that you're involving. Someone or something already built, something in pre-construction. But when it comes to pre-construction, it's very important to make sure that the developer that you're buying has all the authorizations for everything. Construction license, the feasibility for the water network, the feasibility for electric network. Some of them don't have it, specifically talking about water, because some of them, instead of having the water from the government, have it from a very big cistern or a very big tank that have on their own. Cabo has this situation on water, so they're preventing these problems to happen and ensuring that your road is well. So not all the documents are going to be there, but there should be a good justification for them not to be. If the due diligence that the lawyer does, it's positive, there's nothing that needs to be taken care of, or it is a concern to the transaction, both me and Francesco are going to give you a blessing and good to go and sign the promissory contract that also should be reviewed by the lawyer.
So now we're going to talk about the timing for you to sign a deed under your name and to get possession of that property. And we're going to do the differences between a completed property and a property in pre-construction. So Zaira, tell us, usually how long does it take to close a property that is completed? So it has a owner and it's going to pass you the deed under your name.
So normally that kind of transaction tends to be faster. Of course, it's important to know that there is a case by case, depending if you're buying through a Mexican corporation, through a foreign LLC, making a fideicomiso as an individual, So a number of things that can affect the length that it's going to take us to complete the closing. But on average, if you as an individual are buying a property, we're talking about 60 days maximum if all the documents from the seller are ready, which normally already happens when it is a built property. When we are talking about the pre-construction, that process can take a bit longer. So when you engage with your contract, there are several options, as Francesco said. We have several payments in different installments. And in Mexico, there's this particular way of owning a property and administering it, that is the condominium regime, that it's pretty much the life in community, the life that allows you to enjoy common areas, a pool, a roof garden, depending on where are you buying. Contact him to find the best amenities in the market. But the condo regime has this peculiarity that cannot start being processed up until the construction is at 80%. So we need to have a big work progress in the construction to start building that. What does it mean when it comes to your title? That you might need to wait. Often all of the developers are going to offer you an additional process that it's a soft closing, that is going to give you the possession of the property, right? But you're going to wait a bit until the closing. This is all government dependencies. This is all normal. Don't freak out. It's important that you have whoever is on your corner checking the legal matters to ensure that there is a correct follow-up to see where are we in the process and be realistic on times. So from the time that the developer already has the condo regime, it's pretty much the same. We're talking about in average 60 days, can be less, can be more depending on the purchase.
I always say 90 to my clients.
Yeah, if we can do it, I've done it in a record time of 30 days, but it can extend a lot. And that will depend a lot on how fast the condo regime is.
Okay, this was the explanation of how to buy a property and when you're gonna get the possession of this property, whether you're buying a completed property or a pre-construction. If you need any more help or you have any concern that you want to share with us, please contact us and let us know which are your thoughts. I'm Francesco Lee and this is Zaira. Thank you again for watching this video and see you on the next one.